This is the sustainability studio that's within the architecture curriculum. And we joined with the architecture college to develop an interdisciplinary course. And when I mean interdisciplinary, I mean bringing ecology, engineering, and students from other disciplines outside of architecture to iteratively and interactively develop projects that are responsive to sea level rise in the short and long term. So we want to have some data that's produced from these designs so that we can understand how sustainable and how resilient they actually are. And to use that information to optimize, so to provide an optimal type of design for a specific site that is resilient and sustainable and responsive to adapting to sea level rise over time.
We are communicating and collaborating with the City Department of Miami Beach and the Sea Level Rise Solution Center. And with those partners, we automatically integrate also stakeholders, concerned citizens, to be part of the design studio sequence. We have guest speakers coming from different other areas of expertise, such as landscape architecture, biologists, or experts on marine biology.
This year we've got 3 architecture studios working on 2 different projects. One is focused on Indian Creek in the city of Miami Beach, and the other is a project focused on a research facility that's actually a FIU facility in Key Largo. It's called the Florida Bay Interagency Science Center.
Currently, we're working on one in Indian Creek in Miami Beach, and the general idea of that is how to take an idea that Miami Beach is already dealing with, which is to raise the walls in order to prevent seawater coming into the residential areas. As you've noticed already in Miami Beach, a lot of the roads have started flooding. So the concept is, how do we prevent in the next 100 years the amount of water that's coming in, and if water does come in, how do we get it out? We are trying to build a wall that will be hosting solar panels so we can produce energy from it, at the same time harnessing the rainwater that's going to be falling on those solar panels so we can use that water for bathroom facilities on site.
As sea level continues to rise, as we have potential for being impacted by storm surge, we might not have the capacity to rely on those centralized services of water and waste management. So we want to sort of foster this idea that we can build services on site. We can harvest rainwater to supply our own water. We can come up with different ways of managing waste that buildings produce from humans working in them that's more sustainable.
So all the resources needed, including drink water, energy to operate the building itself, and all these zonings that relate to research and exhibitions, need to be self-powered, so that the building itself becomes a demonstration object, a learning tool, and helps to disseminate these ideas, how to survive.
And it's pretty interesting overall to see a group of people from a very diverse background and age working together, trying to reach a common conclusion for what will inevitably be a pro for Miami-Dade as well as for the world.
Design is not about a target, it's about an evolution of the site. So if you can get your head around how you design a site now that is responsive to change over time, you've hit the nail right on the head, and that's a design challenge, but at the same time it's absolutely tenable, and we've seen the results of that in these projects.
We have the case studies right in the real world. We can touch them, we can smell them, we can see them. So if there's a high tide or a king tide, we can even smell it, because the decay of the mangroves mixed with sewage leakage makes this very aggressive methane gas smell or odor that we can smell. We can see it, how streets are flooded.
It's very interesting to apply concepts that I've learned in classes to a project that is actually applicable in the sense of not just environmentally but socially applicable.
In the next 90 days, there will be approximately 12,000 more apartments in these new high-rises. Not just it will drop the prices in the market of the existing apartments and people will lose values, but these new high-rise developments have no or if little consideration that there is a sea level rise going on. So we are looking into a future that is very, very challenging. Everyone should use the web link that was developed at the School of Journalism to understand what the impact of 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 5 foot, 10 foot will be in the future. And then think about how would my environment change when I can't use a car anymore. So then I need an amphibia, perhaps, a vehicle that is good in water and also on streets. And I might have to elevate my building. I have to give up the ground floor. Or new buildings, they have to be on stilts, like that's already happening in New Orleans. So we need to start to think into the future and visualize and envision solutions to live with increased water level. So this component of education and training and further education for professionals is pivotal. It's about survival. It's not fashion, it's about survival.